It's now time for Crime in the DMV, where we bring you the latest headlines from the week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sierra Fox. We start in Charles County. A family is suing the school district. This after their second grader was hospitalized after an incident. Fox 5's Bob Barnard shares the details.
Was this a case of bullying or simply innocent horseplay that went south? There's lots of talk about this on social media and cause for concern from the little boy's family, who spoke to reporters just around the corner today.
Thankfully, he's alive, but the trauma and emotional toll of such a horrific incident is beyond words.
Asking us not to show their faces on TV, the grandmother and parents of a Charles County Public School second grader are speaking to a small gathering of community members in a park near administration headquarters.
People sending their regards to our family, we really appreciate it, but I just ask that you guys continue to pray for us, because mentally I am not okay.
They're expressing their concerns about what happened to their 7-year-old at school 10 days ago, sharing with us this photo of the boy at Children's National Hospital. He has since gone home and is said to be doing much better.
Just the thought of, my son just being in that condition is just unacceptable. It's like they got to do better.
The second grader was injured in a bathroom at Barnhart Elementary School in Waldorf Friday, November 15th. A fourth grader was with him when the younger boy's hoodie got caught on a bathroom stall door hook, an incident school officials first said was a result of horseplay.
I just wanted to stop. I want my child, I hate that my child even had to be an example, but I do want my child to be the last child that this has happened to. I want policies in place. I want at least, hallway monitors.
The family and their attorney say it was not horseplay and that the children should not have been in the bathroom without an adult nearby.
Last week, the firm sent notice to Charles County that it intends on filing suit for the horrendous suffering that this family has endured and will continue to endure as a result of this incident.
It could have been completely prevented, avoided. Had they done something on Thursday, Friday would have never occurred.
Also at the nearby park is Courtney, who says her second grader was attacked by the same fourth grader in a bathroom at Barnhart Elementary the day before.
He was in the bathroom, and when my son walked in, he started hitting him. My son said he was trying to take his hat, but he was hitting him.
Charles County schools officials say disciplinary consequences are being imposed without citing any specifics.
In Virginia, a stolen vehicle and police chase ends in a fiery crash. We're learning 6 people, including a state trooper, got hurt. Fox 5's David Kaplan explains.
We know this started as a stolen car reported out of Prince George's County at about 11:20 last night. Police in Alexandria spotted this vehicle and tried to pull it over, but they were unsuccessful. That car started coming down Richmond Highway behind me. We're told it kind of crested the hill during this pursuit. State police were involved. Eventually, there was a trooper right around this area. We're told the car hits the trooper hits that light pole that you're looking at right now. It was replaced by about 2 o'clock today. The trooper, we're told, is okay. So the trooper is one of 6 people injured. The chase actually continued about another mile when the driver of the stolen car, we're told, ran a red light and hit 2 other cars. One of those 2 other drivers suffered minor injuries, we're told. State police tells us the stolen car then burst into flames, and 4 occupants, including the driver, were pulled out of the car and taken to area hospitals. Their conditions are unknown right now. We are told that charges are pending at this time, but no word on a driver ID or what those charges may be. I talked to a resident in the area who thinks Richmond Highway is already unsafe, and while chases like this are not the norm, she certainly thinks the justice system should send a strong message to this driver.
They have to pay, they have to be held accountable.
Fox 5 obtaining some surveillance footage of the aftermath of the state trooper being hit just gives you a sense of how many police were here. We spoke off camera with several neighbors today who said they heard police choppers overhead in the middle of the night, and they saw tons of lights and sirens. State police says that the investigation is active and ongoing. If we learn anything about charges in this case, we'll be sure to pass that.
Bond denied for an FBI agent accused of sexual assault. Prosecutors say he lured in at least 2 women using social media and fake modeling opportunities. And it's not the first time this agent has had a run-in with the law. Fox 5's Lily Zhang breaks it all down.
There is a concern from police that there may potentially be more victims out there. It was announced in court today by prosecutors that a potential third victim has come forward.
We are committed to investigating every allegation of sexual assault, supporting the victims of assault, and reducing re-traumatization of these victims.
That was earlier today when Montgomery County Police urged anyone who may have interacted with Eduardo Valdivia to come forward. Detectives say he was using the aliases Laylo Brown and Mr. Boogie. Valdivia is accused of luring victims to his Gaithersburg tattoo studio under the pretense of modeling opportunities. That is where the victims have reported being sexually assaulted. These new allegations come nearly 2 years after the suspect was acquitted of charges related to an off-duty shooting on a metro train. Valdivia's defense attorney argues that the recent accusations are all consensual. When asked to comment on the state's announcement of a possible third victim in this case, this was his response.
Look, let them bring it on. You know, the first two aren't victims any more than presumably this third person is going to be if you read and interpret what's in the statement of charges.
Now, in response, the FBI says they cannot comment on these charges. However, they did confirm that this suspect is currently suspended pending this investigation.
Now to new details on a district-wide crackdown on illegal cannabis shops. D.C. police shut down another business selling weed without a license. Fox 5's Nanasenu Bonsu has more.
The owner here of Peace in the Air says the city's raid on his business this morning was unnecessary, but the city says selling marijuana here at this shop illegally is a danger to the public.
Police with a search warrant! Police in full riot gear, banging the door down, right? It was over 10 of them.
This was the scene outside Peace in the Air weed dispensary on 18th Street Tuesday morning. The city's Alcoholic Beverage and Cannabis Administration's Enforcement Division with DC police officers were there to shut down the business they say was selling weed illegally.
They banged out a door to an empty building.
Nothing. They cleaned out already.
If my stuff was still in there and we were still operating business out of love, I would feel extremely violated.
Daryl Dawson owns the shop that's now officially closed. He tells Fox 5 that they've been closed for almost 2 weeks because their lease was up. But we asked him if he was selling weed without the proper licensing.
To our knowledge, we weren't doing anything illegally until we had until we were given a warning.
The city issued Dawson a cease and desist order, and they say he failed to comply, leading to today's operation to shut down his business and lock it up. Over the summer, a bill was passed that gave the Alcoholic Beverage and Cannabis Agency power to close illegal businesses.
I did not avoid the licensing, but when it was time to be licensed, I declined doing any licensing because I don't think that the licensing system is going to benefit the proprietor at all.
He says today's closure of his shop that also sold clothes, music, and art could have been done differently, but he's glad that none of his employees were there during the time of the raid.
But now I feel violated for the people who had to pay hourly for all those police to be there. I feel for, the taxpayers, and I feel for the other people who are doing business in this cannabis realm who will probably get violated.
Now, the city says since the bill passed over the summertime, they've locked up over a dozen illegal cannabis shops. And when it comes to this shop over here, the city can fine the owner $10,000 following the closure order.
The search is on for the killer of a Prince George's County Public Schools employee who was shot to death in front of his home in Laurel. Fox 5's Bob Barnard has the latest.
You often hear people say, I can't believe something like this happened in such a quiet neighborhood. Well, this one is so under the police radar, we're told officers needed to use their GPS to find this street last night. In terms of the murder itself, was it a robbery or a targeted killing? We just don't know. Several neighbors have told us they heard 6 distinct gunshots and then screams last night around 9 o'clock here on Silver Birch Lane in Laurel. Minutes later, Prince George's County Police found a man fatally wounded in the middle of the street. He's been identified as 58-year-old Jerome Stocks, murdered right in front of his house. Police telling us they have little information in the way of suspects or a possible motive in the killing. One neighbor sharing with us this security camera footage showing a car without its lights on driving off seconds after the gunfire. According to his LinkedIn page, Jerome Stocks was employed as a supervisor for Prince George's County Public Schools. A friend telling us Stocks did maintenance work. His PGCPS truck still parked in front of his house. Neighbors who didn't want to go on camera telling us Jerome Stocks was married with grown children, was sweet and kind, the most awesome neighbor, just a great and welcoming person. Stunned by the fact he was shot and killed, hoping his killer is caught, not knowing who would want to hurt him or why.
And we've heard from a couple of relatives who tell us Jerome Stocks comes from a large family living primarily here in Prince George's County. Police say if you know anything about this particular crime, please give them a call.
Well, that does it for this week's Crime in the DMV. Stay ahead with Fox 5. We have an episode drop each week right here on Fox Local. See you next time with the latest updates.